You will never feel ready. You will never wake up one morning with motivation flooding your veins and clarity lighting your path. Life doesn't work that way. If you keep waiting for the perfect moment, you'll spend your life waiting and nothing will ever change. You say you want success, discipline, growth, but you're still waiting for the right time. You want confidence, but you're still hiding behind excuses. You want to change, but you keep telling yourself tomorrow. That's not a plan, that's a trap. The truth is, you don't need to feel like doing it. You just need to force yourself to do it. Discipline isn't built when you feel motivated. It's built when you act despite every cell in your body screaming to stop, when your mind says no. But your actions say yes. That's where strength is born. That's how legends are made. There are two versions of you, the one who dreams and the one who executes. The dreamer talks about it, imagines it, posts quotes about it. The executor gets up, bleeds for it, and makes it happen. Every day you make a choice, which version wins. You don't need more motivation, you need more control. Control over your emotions, your laziness, your doubts. You need to stop letting comfort dictate your destiny. Because comfort is the enemy. It whispers, rest a little longer. You deserve a break. Do it later. But comfort kills ambition slowly, quietly, like a poison you sip every day without realizing it's destroying you. The successful ones, they feel the same fear you do. They have the same doubts, the same exhaustion, the same temptations. But they've mastered one skill. They move anyway. They've trained their minds to obey, not negotiate. Because once you start negotiating with weakness, you lose. You won't always feel strong. Some days, getting out of bed will feel like lifting mountains. Some days, your mind will scream, why bother? But that's when you decide who you really are. That's when you force yourself to move. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. There's a moment, the moment between deciding and doing, that determines everything. Most people lose in that gap. They think, they doubt, they overanalyze, and they give up before they even start. Winners don't wait for the perfect state of mind. They move. They act before their brain finds reasons not to. You have to become ruthless with your habits. You have to drag yourself out of bed, out of fear, out of your excuses. Force your body, train your mind, and silence the voice that says, I'll start tomorrow. Because every time you delay, you weaken your word. You teach your mind that your promises mean nothing. And that's how dreams die. Not with a crash, but with a whisper. Not today. You have to become your own commander. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to do it for you. You have to become the kind of person who shows up regardless of mood, regardless of doubt, regardless of the storm. You have to look in the mirror and say, I'm doing this. I don't care how I feel. I don't care how tired I am. I don't care if it hurts. Because that's how discipline is born, in the fire of resistance. You've been waiting for motivation, but motivation is a liar. It shows up when you least need it and disappears when you need it most. Stop depending on it. Start building consistency. Start doing it because it has to be done, not because you feel like it. Remember, this success doesn't care about your feelings. The world doesn't stop for your bad days. Your dreams don't pause until you're ready. Every minute you waste, someone else is using it to get ahead. You have to decide if you want to be ordinary or unstoppable. Ordinary people wait. Unstoppable ones act. Ordinary people complain. Unstoppable ones adapt. Ordinary people give up when it hurts. Unstoppable ones push harder. You say you want it, prove it. Not with words, not with dreams, but with action. Force yourself to do it. The gym, the study, the grind, the early mornings, the lonely nights. Do it even when it feels impossible. Because the truth is, it's not supposed to be easy. That's the point. The pain you feel now is not punishment. It's preparation. Every rep, every page, every step, every sacrifice, it's building a version of you that can handle the weight of success. The version of you who doesn't break under pressure. The version of you who doesn't wait for perfect conditions because they create them. No one becomes great by accident. Greatness is not given, it's demanded, it's earned, it's forced. So the next time your mind says, I can't, remember, you've felt that before and still survived. You've been tired before and still moved. You've doubted yourself before and still made it through. You are stronger than your emotions. You are more capable than your excuses. Force yourself to move and watch what happens. Watch how momentum builds, how discipline grows, how your entire life begins to shift because you decided to stop waiting and start acting. That's the secret no one wants to hear. Not motivation, not luck, not talent. Just the brutal, relentless habit of forcing yourself to do what needs to be done every single day, no matter what. Because in the end, success doesn't come to the most motivated. It comes to the most disciplined. At some point, you have to stop waiting for someone to rescue you. No mentor, no friend, no parent, no hero is coming to fix your life. You have to look at the mirror and realize it's you. It's always been you. The one who's responsible. The one who must act. The one who must decide that from this moment on. You will not let weakness win. You're not broken. You're just undisciplined. You're not unlucky. You're untrained. And training takes force. You must force your mind to obey you. You must break the habit of quitting, because quitting is a disease. Once you start, it spreads to your dreams, to your relationships, to your identity. Every time you say, I'll do it later, you strengthen the chains that hold you back. So what if it's hard? So what if it's uncomfortable? Everything that's worth anything was built through discomfort. You think winners wake up every morning smiling. You think they enjoy the pain. No, they've simply learned to stop negotiating with it. They've learned to move through the storm without asking for shelter. You keep asking for ease. Stop. Ask for strength instead. Ask for the courage to act even when you're scared, tired, or lost. Because that's the real test. Not how you perform when you're motivated, but how you perform when you're empty, drained, and the world feels heavy. That's where champions are made. Every morning you wake up with two voices. One whispers, stay in bed, you deserve rest. The other says, get up, you've got work to do. The one you listen to, that's who you become. You can't pray for greatness and then avoid the grind that creates it. You can't want success but live like everyone else. You can't demand more from life while giving the same effort. The universe doesn't reward wishes, it rewards discipline. Force yourself. Force yourself to go for that run when your legs ache. Force yourself to study when your mind wanders. Force yourself to practice when no one is watching. Force yourself to stay humble when success finally comes. Because it's not about feeling like it, it's about doing it regardless. You will fail. You will fall. But that's not the problem. The problem is staying down. The problem is believing the voice that says, but maybe I'm not built for this. You are. You always have been. You just forgot. You've been surrounded by comfort for so long that you started believing you're fragile. But you're not fragile, you're forged. You're built for the fire. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is that discipline equals freedom. The more you force yourself to act when it's hard, the free you become. Because most people are slaves to their feelings, their fears, their habits. They obey comfort like it's a master. But not you. Not anymore. You're about to break that cycle. Pain will visit you. Let it teach you, not define you. Doubt will knock. Let it pass. Don't invite it in. Fear will whisper, but you'll keep moving anyway. Because courage isn't the absence of fear. It's action despite it. You've been told to find motivation. But the truth, motivation is built, not found. It's created through small, consistent victories. Through doing the thing you didn't want to do, again and again, until your brain understands that quitting is no longer an option. Remember the times you gave up before. The times you stopped one step away from breakthrough. The moments you said, maybe it's not meant for me. Look back and feel that sting, that regret. Because that's what happens when you let temporary emotions decide your destiny. You will never forgive yourself for the chances you didn't take. Force yourself to do it, and you'll never have to live with that regret again. Discipline doesn't just build success. It builds respect for yourself. It's the difference between saying, I wish, and saying, I did. Between feeling sorry and feeling unstoppable. Every time you show up when it's hard, you rebuild your self-belief. You remind yourself that you are in control. People will doubt you. They'll say you've changed, that you're obsessed, that you're too serious. Let them talk. They only see the surface. They don't understand the war that goes on inside of you every day. The battle between comfort and potential. The battle between fear and action. But one day they'll see what you were fighting for, and they'll call you lucky. There is no luck. There is only the discipline to keep showing up when everyone else stops. You will have days where nothing seems to work. You'll feel like you're giving everything and getting nothing back. Keep going. That's where most people quit, right before the reward. Life is testing you. It wants to know how bad you really want it. When your mind screams, enough, whisper back, more. When it says stop, reply, not yet. When it says you can't, say, watch me. The greatest revenge against doubt, against critics, against your own weakness is progress. Every rep, every effort, every hour you force yourself forward, you're building proof. Proof that you are stronger than your emotions. Proof that you are unstoppable. Proof that you don't need to feel ready because you move anyway. The world doesn't need another talker. It needs doers. It needs people who refuse to wait for perfect conditions. People who create movement when there's none. People who act even when their hands shake. The only thing worse than failure is not trying. At least when you try, you have a chance to win. But when you wait, when you make excuses, you guarantee defeat. So stop thinking, stop wishing. Stop delaying, force yourself to do it. Every time you act when you don't feel like it, you grow stronger. Every time you show up when it's hard, you earn respect. From the world and from yourself. Every time you keep going despite pain, you're rewriting your identity. You're becoming the kind of person who finishes what they start. Don't ask for it to be easier. Ask to be tougher. Don't wish for fewer problems. Wish for more power. Because growth doesn't come from avoiding struggle. It comes from surviving it again and again until nothing can break you. You will reach a point where your body aches, your mind burns, and your heart questions why you even started. That's the edge. The place where the weak stop and the strong are born. The moment you either quit or evolve. Most people turn back when it hurts. They see pain as a signal to stop. But you'll see it as proof that you're getting closer. Because pain means growth. And growth means you're no longer the same person who started. You'll hear that voice again. The one that tells you to rest, to take it easy, to do it tomorrow. But tomorrow is a liar. Tomorrow steals your dreams and buries them under comfort. Every time you delay, every time you say, not now, you give away a piece of your future. The truth is harsh. Nobody cares about your excuses. The world rewards action, not intention. You either did it or you didn't. You either showed up or you didn't. No one will remember your reasons, only your results. There's a version of you waiting on the other side of discomfort. Stronger, wiser, unrecognizable. But you'll never meet them if you keep choosing what's easy. You'll never know your potential if you always give in to what feels good in the moment. Every second you hesitate, you delay your evolution. Every time you make an excuse, you build a wall between who you are and who you could be. Force yourself to break that wall. Even if you crawl, even if you cry, even if no one believes in you, you must keep going. Because in the end, it's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's about persistence. The stubborn refusal to quit, no matter what stands in your way. That's what separates the average from the elite. That's what transforms dreamers into doers. You think success comes from motivation. No, success comes from discipline repeated so many times it becomes instinct. It's brushing off the dust after every failure. It's waking up after every fall. It's continuing the fight long after the feeling is gone. That's what greatness is, silent persistence when no one is watching. The truth is, nobody sees the struggle. They see the result. They see the medals, the money, the applause. But they don't see the nights you wanted to give up. They don't see the battles you fought alone. They don't see the sacrifices, the tears, the moments when you doubted everything. But you'll know, you'll remember. And when that success finally comes, you'll realize it was never about the reward. It was about who you became along the way. Force yourself to stay consistent. When progress is invisible, when nothing seems to change, when effort feels wasted, that's where transformation hides, in repetition, in silence, in unseen effort. It's not glamorous. It's not pretty. But that's the grind that builds legends. You'll lose friends. You'll outgrow people. Not because you're better, but because your priorities will shift. You'll start valuing peace over parties, purpose over pleasure. And not everyone will understand that. Some will call you obsessed. Some will call you arrogant. But that's because they've never met the version of themselves that's truly alive. They're still comfortable, still safe, still asleep. You're awake now. You've seen what you can become. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. One day it'll all make sense. The sacrifices, the pain, the loneliness. You'll realize that every struggle was shaping you, sharpening you, preparing you for this moment. The late nights, the early mornings, the silence, the doubt, all of it was fuel. And when you stand there with nothing left to prove to anyone, you'll smile. Because you'll finally understand you didn't win because you were gifted. You won because you refused to quit. Force yourself to do it. Not for approval, not for validation, but because you owe it to yourself, because you promised yourself that you wouldn't waste your potential. You promised that this time you wouldn't break that promise. Every rep, every hour, every sacrifice, it's building a foundation that no one can take away from you. This is your proof, your story, your fight. The people who said you couldn't, they were wrong. The part of you that said you can't, it was lying. You have no idea how powerful you can become when you stop listening to your excuses. Your future self is begging you. Don't stop now. Don't let comfort steal what discipline could build. Don't let fear silence the greatness that's been waiting inside you all along. Every time you fall, rise faster. Every time you doubt, remind yourself how far you've come. Every time it hurts, whisper, "This is where I grow." Because pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. You'll never know how close you were to breakthrough if you give up halfway. So don't stop. Not now, not ever. Remember this, the world doesn't owe you anything, but you owe yourself everything. You owe it to that kid who once dreamed big. You owe it to that version of you that refused to settle. You owe it to the future that still believes in you. Force yourself to fight for that, because one day, you'll thank yourself for not quitting when it was hardest. When that day comes, when you've built something real, when you've turned struggle into strength, look back at this version of yourself and smile, because this was the moment it all changed. The moment you decided to take control. The moment you stopped waiting and started acting. The moment you forced yourself to do it. So take a deep breath, wipe your tears, straighten your back, and move forward with power. With discipline, with fire in your soul. No more waiting, no more excuses, no more comfort. Just action, just progress. Just you doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Because the greatest version of you is waiting. And they're watching to see if you're brave enough to show up. Force yourself to do it. Not tomorrow, not later. Now.